Good evening, Broncos country, and welcome into the latest installment of the Mile High Huddle podcast. I am one half of your football priest, Zack Kelberman, and on today's episode, let me try to get this stream up and running. Waiting for the 5 check marks before I dive fully in. I see some people waiting for me very patiently. Thank you so much to everyone who's also I've been in here before I even went live. Appreciate you all. I'll shout you guys out. But yeah, it's a solo episode. If you guys couldn't tell already, just your boy here, Zack Kelberman, one half of your football priest, sitting in for Chad today, who's dealing with some family business, nothing serious, but something that needed his attention. So I am pinch hitting solo. For now, I do not have Scott in the background, so no producer, just me, yours truly. If I miss any supers, star comments, things of that nature, I'll get the supers, but if I miss any stars or things of that, Chad's suited press over free agency. That's funny, test prep. But if I miss any star comments, I don't have it up in the background, so forgive me. We'll make it up to you tomorrow and Sunday when Chad is back with me in tandem podcasting. But Doc James saying, love you, Zach. Say some prayers for our team. Stormbless 217. I need to start wearing my glasses, guys. I don't know if you can tell. I'm constantly squinting, and the screen is not that far away from me. It's pretty sad, but thank you, Stormbless, for that. Hope you're having a good Wednesday evening so far, and I really appreciate this, Todd. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, we're going to dive right into it, Storm, and I want to give some shout-outs really quickly. I see we have some starred comments, and I see, Storm, you were the second starred and also super waiting in the chat for me before I came on here. So thank you so much. I see Mike Thompson, String Guy, N. Skelly, David Yunkin. David Yunkin has a super. Miguel. I see Chase Wellner. It's going to be a hot and active chat tonight. I love it. Vegas James. I mentioned Test Prep already. William Catalano. Who else? Ronnie Garcia. Keith. I see you, Keith. Keep scrolling. This is great. I love it, man. I love it. I'm still scrolling on a Wednesday freaking night. I love it. You guys don't have any reason to be here considering how free agency has gone. And if our dear members, if you're not a member to our VIP members only page on YouTube, I highly recommend that because you were around yesterday for Kelberman's Corner. And I kind of went off on the Broncos. I was trying to hold myself back, and I have been the last couple of days. I try not to be too emotional about it and contradict my own edicts and how I feel about other people. I want to be logical and level-headed, but it's tough when the Broncos are pushing me to this point. God, it's already happening, man. I'm trying to woosah, but they're not doing anything to help out their quarterback, Bo Nix. Nothing but re-signings. I'll get into that over the course of the episode. Based on the chat so far, it could be a little slow. Again, it's a Wednesday. I see one of the pages didn't load. Is that Twitter? Let me try that again. See if that works. Hang on one second, guys. I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't have chat. I don't have Scott. It's just me. So we're still getting those freaking red. I don't like the red. Mile High Huddle. Okay, Mile High Huddle. Yeah, should all be up and running. I'm sorry, guys. A lot of dead air right now. So yeah, Storm says I'm here for Zach Rants. Oh, where was I? Complaining about the Broncos? Okay. Yeah, William, that's another thing as well. And if I seem a little, and no, Phil, he's not sick. He has some family business to attend to. Again, nothing serious, but he couldn't make it this evening. Don't you worry about Chad. He's just fine. He'll be back tomorrow. I talked to him just like an hour and a half ago. So everything's okay. But William says here, I'm done complaining, LOL, looking forward to the draft now. And that's exactly, William, what I said on Twitter right before I went live. I'm not even mad anymore. The fact that it's going on 3 days and the Broncos haven't made one external acquisition. You know, I wasn't expecting Madden-type numbers. I wasn't expecting the Broncos to be the 2010 Eagles and load up on every free agent. You don't win championships that way. But I was expecting, and I don't think this is a stretch of the imagination or too much to expect, one external acquisition. And it hasn't come yet. And it probably will. The odds suggest it will. It has to at some point, I would assume. but it hasn't yet. And I'm not even mad anymore. It's fascinating. I am fascinated by what's going on right now. In my wildest dreams, you could have given me 10 million years to think of the scenarios for how free agency was going to go for the Broncos. Not one of those scenarios would have concluded with they're not going to do anything at all except re-sign the likes of Adam Prentice and Adam Troutman and Alex Singleton. They're not going to bring in one outside player going on 72 hours or 3 days into the free agency process. Not in my wildest dreams did I expect that at all. So it's really tough not to be upset. It's really tough not to rant. It's really tough not to complain, William, as you were saying there. I know you used a different word, but I don't blame any Broncos fan right now for feeling very disappointed, for feeling very let down. I feel bad for Bo Nix. That's who I feel bad for. Forget about us. I feel bad for the quarterback who's still rehabbing a broken ankle, by the way, who just welcomed a newborn, who got the Broncos to the AFC title game. I feel bad for him because as of right now, you know what his tight end room looks like? His top 3 tight ends, Evan Ingram, Adam Troutman, and Lucas Krull, who re-signed today. Does that sound familiar? Because it should. That's the exact same tight end unit the Broncos employed in 2025. And how did that avail them? It didn't. Spoiler alert, it didn't at all. They were the worst tight end group in the NFL. And the Broncos have done exactly this. Bubkiss, nothing to improve it. They think they're going to skate by with Adam Troutman making $6 million a year and bringing back Lucas Krull. And William, you're right too. I feel bad for Davis Webb as well. That's a tough situation right now. And I'll give the caveat of it's still early, I guess. The offseason's not over. But I do feel bad for him. It's a tough situation. The new play caller, he's running the show now from Sean Payton. That's a big shoes to fill. And yet his best weapon on offense is what? Cortland Sutton, a guy who should be a wide receiver too, or J.K. Dobbins, a running back who cannot stay healthy. Wow. It just, I can only rant about the same thing so many times before it comes off disingenuous. I don't want to come off that way tonight. So if I bounce around or I seem scatterbrained or whatever, I go from being happy to sad or angry to passive, forgive me, because I've been talking about this on the pod, on the stream for 2 days now. And there's not much more that could be said. It's very anticlimactic. It's very disappointing that the Broncos haven't made one outside move. I don't know how else to categorize it. And who is that? Greg? My glasses are right here. I refuse to put them on. Greg says the front office had us thinking they would be big spenders. Not even that, Greg. Greg Penner and George Payton said, or at least Greg Penner said, they'll be opportunistically aggressive. Meaning if there's an opportunity, they'll be aggressive to get a player. Well, they haven't been aggressive or opportunistically aggressive. They've been nothing. They've been conservative. They've been passive. They've been type B. They've been sitting on their freaking hands on the sideline watching every other team around them, including the Chiefs, by the way, their main competition in the division, get better. And they've gotten worse. They haven't gotten better. They haven't stayed the same. The Broncos have gotten worse. They lost JFM. They're going to lose Dre Greenlaw. The JFM loss alone. They brought back every free agent except the best one, except the more irreplaceable one. I don't understand it. So it's either, and again, this pod is going to seem very scatterbrained tonight. It's going to be half rant and half addressing your questions and comments and also recapping what the Broncos have done. Oh, man. Let me just do this really quick. Let me just clean up the supers before I just really go off the rails and get myself freaking banned off YouTube. But let me just clean up these. David, thank you so much. $2 super. Good evening, Broncos country. God bless the USA. Let's go, Bo. Thank you for that, David, as always. We got Storm 1999 super. Thank you, Storm, for, again, hopping in and dropping the super before I even went live. We really appreciate that. Hey, Priest, at this point, I feel deflated and lied to. We were told we would be aggressive. I don't know what to believe anymore. I'm done with free agency and wasting my time and energy on maybes and what ifs. Shake my head. Again, let me just, I see your comment, but it's covering up half my face. So I don't blame any Broncos fan, you included, for feeling mad, for feeling disappointed, for feeling apathetic, for feeling kind of just whatever, and walk away until the draft and kind of just do other things and occupy your time elsewhere. Still watch the pod. We really would appreciate that. But I understand any fan that feels let down right now because, like you said, the front office was leading you to believe they were going to be aggressive or at least competitive in free agency. The ownership group said the same thing, opportunistically aggressive, and they've done nothing. They've done the opposite of that, the opposite. And it came back to me, and I want to use your comment really quick. Or 10 minutes in already. It's crazy. That's what ranting will do. But I want to use your comment, Storm, as a pivot point here to theorize. Let's theorize out loud together, guys. Okay, let's put our thinking caps on and think as to why the Broncos would not make any outside additions yet. It's not that they're constrained by money. They weren't. They had $25 million before, coming into the offseason. They're free from the Russell Wilson contract. They could have released a player, or which they are doing with Dre Greenlaw, or restructure another, which they did with Quinn Miners to make more cap room. That's not it. I theorized yesterday they're not making a big trade because George Payton and Greg Penner are still burned and have PTSD from the Russell Wilson disaster. And that could be it, but that doesn't explain not signing anyone. At least at this point last offseason, they signed multiple players. They had Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga in the building and locked up and signed, sealed, delivered within a day or whatever it was, 2 days. So it can't be gun shy from Russell Wilson. It has to be something in the background is brewing. Number one, I'm going to make the optimistic approach first. Something in the background is brewing that we don't know about yet. A trade, I don't know what signing it could be because the market's kind of picked over right now. But a trade of some sort, it might be brewing. Maybe it is for Jalen Waddle. Maybe a Garrett Wilson's going to come through the door. Maybe I always bring up the same 4 or 5, Chris Olave, Drake London, yada, yada, yada. Maybe there's something brewing in the background. Or Breece Hall, a running back. Maybe a trade for a running back. Maybe he's coming over from the Jets. That's my heart talking, not my brain. Because my brain tells me something completely different. My brain tells me that Sean Payton and George Payton weren't lying to you when they said they're happy with who they have. They weren't lying to you when they said, you know what, we might not be that active in free agency. Don't get your hopes up. Because what was the analogy Sean Payton made in the season-ending press conference or at the Combine? Something about couches. Growing up, he had a lot of couches, and sometimes you find couches that aren't good, and that explains the free agent process. I really do believe, considering how far they got last season to the AFC title game and should have been the Super Bowl if their quarterback stayed healthy, the same quarterback they're doing nothing to help. But I really do believe it did enough to trick George and Sean Payton into believing that they don't have to make any moves. They can literally run it back almost 100% carbon copy and get back to the same point next season or past that. What else would explain it? And that's ego, that's arrogance, and that's Sean Payton to a T. I don't know that George has that trait in him, but he's also a little, I don't want to say subservient, but in the power structure, Sean Payton's here and George Payton's here. It's very, very plainly clear as day. So it's either arrogance. They're genuinely happy with who they have. They think they can compete with the exact same roster minus Dre Greenlaw and minus JFM, or there's something brewing in the background. But chat, let me know. I'm going to clean up the comments. Let me know, what other things could there be? What other reason could there be? Or here's my conspiracy theory. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for my conspiracy theory? Let me know. I ain't getting into it until you let me know. If you want to hear my super duper conspiracy. See what you guys are saying first before I get into all that. It's dumb as hell anyway, All right, Simply's ready for it. Simpy, let's hear it. Ready? All right. Tell me what you guys think. It's going to seem absolutely insane. Joe, my blood pressure is fine. You haven't been watching me. I hope you have, but I hope you haven't been watching me that long. This is like SOP for me. This is the normal operating pace that I go at. This is where I thrive, but I appreciate your concern. I'll be okay. I have a energy drink next to me, so that's always fun. My conspiracy is that there's a little friction. And again, it's crazy. It's probably not the case, but what other reason could there be? But I thought it was really weird, and you can connect the dots if you want. I thought it was really weird that Sean would come out and make those pointed comments the way he did about Bo Nix's ankle and his previous history with ankle surgeries and his predisposition to ankle surgeries. Whoa, 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 whoa. Do we finally get breaking news from Vegas? You better not be trolling me, James. You better not be. If I'm going to cut off my conspiracy theory and my rant for this, you better not be trolling me. If you're trolling me, I'm literally booting you from the chat. I don't see anything from Kliss saying that Njoku's visiting the Broncos. Is he lying to me? Is he lying? That's how desperate I am. That is how desperate I am, like a craved, starved animal for legitimate Broncos news that involves a player outside of their bubble. Okay, so I'll continue with my conspiracy theory. That's not cool, James, at all. That's not cool, man. Playing with my emotions like that. So I thought it was really strange. Maybe you guys didn't. Maybe you did. Boot him. Vegas James, boot him. You know what? I'll do this. You're going in timeout. Boo this man. Look at his story. All right. Well, listen, James, if it comes out that you're telling the truth, I'll take you out of timeout, but we don't deal with fake news around here. If you're telling the truth, I apologize, but I was hot with my rant. I want to keep him. Got him facing the corner. I mean, he's toying with me. What am I supposed to do? I've been waiting for 72 hours for Broncos news. And he's going to come in here saying that the Broncos are visiting with the guy I've wanted all along, one of my favorite free agents, David Njoku. I don't see anything. I mean, he would put that out on Twitter, I would assume. What story? What story? Let me know. I haven't seen anything from Kliss. Maybe he speculated that he could be visiting, but I haven't seen anything. And Rodney, he would make a lot of sense, David Njoku. He's a better blocker than Evan Ingram and Adam Troutman, and he's a better pass catcher than both, arguably. So maybe we'll agree to disagree, but he's not going to get my hopes up, James. He'll come back. He's in timeout. He's not banned permanently, but I've been starved for Broncos news. I've been on Twitter refreshing every second, and that's the guy I've wanted the most. Go check KK from yesterday. And he's not going to, like Storm says, mess with my emotions. Anyway, we're at 17 minutes already. All right, let me get back to my conspiracy. All right. I thought it was really strange that Sean Payton came out and said those things about Bo Nix's ankle and his history with ankle surgeries. I thought it was even stranger that Bo Nix immediately after the season called a press conference unscheduled and refuted directly, publicly, sharply, pointedly refuted what Sean Payton said. And I'm not saying that there's, trouble in paradise or friction or whatever. This is, again, this disclaimer before y'all clip it or whatever, or take me out of context. It's a conspiracy and it's crazy. It's probably not true. But what else do I have to go on? What else do I have to go on? Give me another reason. What other reason could there be? What other reason could there be? There's something in the works. They have PTSD from Russell Wilson. They're truly confident with who they have. What other reason could there be? Or there's friction with Sean Payton and Bo Nix, and they're like, F this guy. I don't know. I would assume it's coming at some point, Rodney, and I'm with you. I like Goddard as well, a lot more than I like freaking Adam Troutman or Evan Ingram for that matter, because I think he's at least reliable. But yeah, people are saying, Big Fives is saying something in the works, and Todd's saying they have PTSD from Russell Wilson. Well, though, and I'll refute my own point, Todd, how does that explain last offseason signing free agents, actually signing outside players? How does that explain that? They signed two guys within the opening of the market. And then they got J.K. Dobbins. I know that was later in the process, but they were consistent. They were in the player adding business. They weren't just bringing their own guys back. So I don't know. I heard there's something big in the works, Rodney says. And, all right, let me clean up these supers. That's all I got. I mean, I'll get to who they brought back. You guys probably heard by now. I mentioned one already in Lucas Krull, but that's all I got in terms of why they haven't made another move. What other reason could there be? Please present me one, and we'll debate it. I have a little time on here. I'm only on not even 20 minutes yet. Nothing else. I'm fascinated. I'm not even mad, despite how I'm coming off. I might be angry or loud or whatever. It's just how I am, but I'm not even mad. It's fascinating. What's going on? Like, did they just decide collectively before free agency started, like, you know what, we're not going to do anything? Literally. Or do they have a pact with the Seahawks, who were the only other team in the NFL who has not added an outside player yet, along with the Broncos? Do they have a little pact because they didn't meet in the Super Bowl, so they have some pact now? I know I'm getting conspiratorial, but that's what this offseason so far is turning me into. Conspiratorial, crazy, cuckoo. But what else do I have to go on? The same thing happened with Dre Greenlaw when he was out, and we didn't know what was going on with him. And Sean Payton was so evasive about it and so ominous about it. I started like conspiracizing. That's not a word, but whatever. I started coming up with random off the wall ideas as to what's going on with Dre Greenlaw. So what other reason could there be? Doesn't make sense. And yeah, Sean's trying to prove he's the smartest guy in the room. David, yeah, that's ego. That's going back to, we have like 3 or 4 buckets laid out here that falls into one of them. Sean Payton thinks he's the smartest guy. He handpicked this roster that went to the AFC Championship. So why fix something that isn't broken in Sean Payton's mind? Or maybe he's thinking, you know what? I did enough for this team. I gave up play calling. If I don't want to make any moves, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if on some even subconscious level, he thinks that way, because it comes out in his coaching. Absolutely. He was a part of the reason why the Broncos had some bugaboos last season. Sean Payton was not blameless by any means. David saying, it really does look like, and thank you, David, for the super. It really does look like Sean is saying, good luck, Webb. Yeah, is that a test? Is that like a trial by fire? Is he being like hazed in a way? Is he saying, you know what, kid, you want the job so bad, you're going to have to go through it. You're going to have to earn it. You're going to have to put up with whatever I put you through. It seems like a very immature, juvenile way of thinking, but for petty, egotistical, vindictive people, they think differently. I don't know. I would think that they want to put their new, young, hotshot play caller in the best possible position to succeed. But then again, I thought they would want to do that with their quarterback too, and they don't really have an interest in doing that yet. So, David, I don't know. It's definitely weird. It's fascinating. Again, that's the word I'm going to come back on a lot tonight. It's fascinating what's going on. BLD, $10 super. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Hope you're having a great night tonight. Hey, Zach, who are the Broncos going to sign outside the team? I wish I knew, BLD. Listen, if I knew that, bro, I would not be on a podcast right now. I would be on a prediction market, cashing out and just living my life and not working. So I don't know who the Broncos are going to sign. I've heard that they could be in the market for an interior alignment. I think alignment. It was Luka Evans that reported it. I'm not going to act like I have some insider information. It was Luka Evans that said it, that they should be active now that the second wave is starting, because not Lucas, because RFAs either were non-tendered or re-signed today. So one of them, I think was it Chris Rodriguez, the running back? He's gone now. He could have been a Bronco if they pursued him, but they didn't. Let me just see where he said that, because I want to give him credit. He's been an amazing guy to follow on Twitter, an amazing part of the beat reporting team. Guys on Twitter, if you haven't followed Luka Evans yet, I highly recommend doing that. He's a really, seems like a really cool guy. So he said, from conversations today, this was 4 hours ago and nothing's happened since, but he said, from conversations today, would expect the Broncos to be active with veteran depth, inside linebacker, maybe offensive line, as the free agent market officially opens here. RFAs who haven't been tendered are now free to sign with any team. So yeah, today was the official start to free agency. Monday was the opening of the legal tampering window. Today was the official start of the new league year. Doesn't really matter because the Broncos didn't do anything anyway. But to answer your question, according to Luka Evans, inside linebacker, maybe offensive line, it doesn't seem like they're going to target a receiver. Supposedly they had interest in Romeo Doubs, who got a freaking bag from the Patriots, but it doesn't seem like they have any interest in upsetting the apple cart. They're going to run it back for now with Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant, and insert number 5 receiver here. Michael Bandy, little Jordan Humphrey, Elijah Moore, just some jag. Just some jag. You know, because that's what Bo Nix deserves. Just another jag to throw to for another year. Sometimes I wish I can curse on here and you guys can see like the real dark side of me. Oh my God, Deanna, thank you so much for this. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you and David are doing amazing tonight. Having a great Wednesday. $50 super. Thank you. We love you, Zach. I'm still disappointed. And we love you too, Deanna. Thank you so much. I'm still disappointed in them not helping Bo Nix. Free agency has been a nightmare. Can't do anything about it. So I'm done griping. Praying for Bo Nix. Mile high huddle for life. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty sad that that's what it's come down to. Praying for Bo Nix. I mean, maybe praying that he heals fast. I mean, I am too, but I assume you meant praying that they're going to actually help him. And it's sad that it's coming to that. In a way, I'm still like, I'm as taken back by the lack of activity as I was hearing about the Bo Nix injury in the first place. And if you guys remember, we were doing the gut reaction to the Bills playoff win. And I think I cut in the chat and I'm like, Bo Nix fractured his ankle. He's out for the season. And I swear to God, up until like literally maybe a few weeks ago or a month ago, I was still just in shock that happened. And I'm still kind of feeling that way about the lack of movement from the Broncos, the fact that they haven't signed anyone. They finally shed all that dead cap from Russell Wilson. You had enough to play with. You restructured Quinn Miners. You freed up a lot of money there. And you just do nothing with it. I mean, literally nothing. Nothing. Like, I don't get it. CP, what is this? Can't read that without messing it up. So it is weird. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. I fell off the treadmill when I heard that news. Yeah, I mean, I was shocked. I was saying a lot of bad words, a lot of curse words off camera once we got off. I could not believe that happened. But I'm a little shocked that the Broncos haven't signed anyone outside of their own building. So thank you for that, Deanna. I'm praying for Bo Nix as well. It's going to have to come through trades now if they want to help him out, because the open markets, it's picked through, it's ran through. You know, it's you don't want to settle for the last person at the bar at 3:00 in the morning. Put it that way. And that's what the Broncos would be doing right now. So if they don't want to do that, if they want to meet someone earlier in the day of higher quality, perhaps go out and make a trade, give up some draft picks, but they don't seem like they have any interest in doing that. Or unless there's something behind the scenes that we don't know about. What else could explain it? I hope there is. I really do. I really hope Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. I don't want to keep naming the same freaking names over and over, but I would hope that there's something going on in the background. That seems to be, usually be the case. I remember years, even before George Payton and Sean Payton, where I was like, why aren't they making moves? Not 3 days into it, but after the first day. And out of nowhere, they made a trade for someone. And I was like, okay, well, at least they did something in the background, but not so far. Yeah, it won't be Max Crosby. That was crazy. Guys, that was crazy. Only the Raiders, right? And it's kind of karma if you think about it. Josh McDaniels backed out of the Colts job however many years ago, 7 years ago. And now the Baltimore Ravens are backing out of the Max Crosby trade. They backed out of it. And then they didn't even hide their intentions. They were acting like it was some failed physical or medicals. They went out and they splurged on Trey Hendrickson the next day. Once they were clear from the Max Crosby commitment, they signed someone of comparable talent. Pretty brazen, if you ask me. I that's pretty big balls on the Baltimore organization. And I'll say that it's not the most ethical thing to do in the NFL, but it's win by any means necessary. Improve your team by any means necessary. What a concept! What a concept! By any means necessary, go out and improve your team. And by extension, you're helping out your young quarterback who's still in a Super Bowl window in Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. They got a really good player in Trey Hendrickson. Before that, they committed a trade for Max Crosby. So I just don't understand what the Broncos are waiting for. Their idea of improving inside linebacker, for example, was literally bringing back the same two from last season and then cutting the best one, or at least maybe the highest ceiling one in Dre Greenlaw, the most accomplished one for sure in Dre Greenlaw. That was their solution to inside linebacker. Bring back Singleton, bring back Sternad, and then cut Greenlaw. Meanwhile, the Raiders went out and they signed 2 inside linebackers, both of whom I wouldn't have minded the Broncos went after. I don't get it. I don't get it. And yeah, the Broncos have not officially cut Drake Greenlaw yet. I don't know why that move has not been processed yet. The only thing I could think of there is if they're trying to dangle him in a trade, but what team would trade for Greenlaw knowing the Broncos are going to cut him? That doesn't make sense. So another thing that doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, Todd, Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean are very good linebackers. The Raiders got a lot better. I hate to say it. If Mendoza hits as a rookie, they're going to be a dangerous team. I hate to say that because they have the offensive infrastructure in place. They have Genty, they have Bowers, they have a couple decent receivers. And now on defense, they upgraded wholly there. They got better, and the Broncos got worse. It doesn't make me a Broncos hater or a Raiders lover to say that. It doesn't make me a doom and gloomer, and it doesn't make me exposed or should be exposed to criticism for saying that. That's objective. The Raiders got better so far, and the Broncos got worse. Oh, James is back from timeout. I thought Greenlaw is a post-June 1st release. That's what it looks like right now, but it hasn't been processed yet, which is weird because everyone knows they're going to release him, so release him, make it official. Again, it's weird. It's weird how they're going about the offseason. I did not see this coming. I did not see it coming. What's that say? You think Henderson is not as good? I said he's a comparable. I don't know if you're talking to me, Todd. I said he's a comparable talent. Trey Hendrickson had back-to-back 15 sack season, something. He was an animal in Cincinnati. And I love the style of player. Not flashy, not a showboater. He wears those, he wears like the long sleeves, but like he has his hands exposed mostly. Kind of a throwback player. He has the visor. He just looks dope, man. I'd love to have Trey Hendrickson on my team. Oh, not me. I appreciate that, Todd. You clarifying. But regardless, I'm a big fan of Trey Hendrickson. The Ravens, made a really good move by picking him up. Again, a little moral, a little shady, but a good move. It was a net positive for Baltimore. And that's all you want to do. That's your job. Whether you're a GM, whether you're the owner, whether you're the coach, whether you're on the staff, whether you're a player striving, your only job is to get better to make the team better or make the team better directly if you're in a position to. Period. And the Ravens did that. And I wish the Broncos got that message. All right, let's clean up the supers. 32 minutes in. Holy crap. Doc James, thank you so much for that $9.99 super. Thank you. Chillax, everyone. We have a great team ready to run it back. We will fully fill our needs. I trust the Paytons. We will get our team put together. I still love JK coming back. I mean, listen, Doc, I'll say this, and maybe you caught me on a bad night. I don't know. This seems a little, I don't want to say naive, but I can't buy in to all that right now. I can't buy into assuming they're going to run it back to where they were. No one is guaranteed anything in the NFL. No one. Ask the Lions how that went for them. They were this close to the Super Bowl. Ask them how that went. Ask them how, I know Kansas City won a bunch, but ask them how it went last season. You're not guaranteed to get anything or anywhere in the NFL. There is no guarantee the Broncos are going to even win 10 games. There's no guarantee of that, let alone get back to the AFC title game. So the arrogance of them, not you, Doc, of them assuming that, of not making any moves, not helping out your quarterback, of assuming you're going to get back to the same point or exceed that solely by running it back with the same roster or a worse roster now without Greenlaw and JFM. It's arrogance. And I don't think that's a good way to go about building a Super Bowl contender, a team that's going to actually win the Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl anyway. And yeah, I love JK coming back too, but they paid him a little more than I thought they were going to pay him, even though it's tied to incentives and this and that, and it's probably a one-year deal, yada, yada, yada. I didn't think he was going to get that much, honestly. So it's good money, and it's a fair deal if he stays healthy, but you literally couldn't depend on him to stay healthy to save your life. Like Doc or anyone, I wouldn't. I'll speak for myself, but Doc, would you put a mortgage payment on J.K. Dobbins staying healthy in 2026? I wish to God he would. If I had that, disposable income right now in these times, I would risk that regardless to be proven wrong, but I wouldn't do that. Everywhere he's went, he's been injured, and he's a great, great player, great locker room guy. I'm happy he's back too. He's good for the morale of the team. He knows the offense, but you just can't rely on him. And I'm just so sick of relying on the unreliable. It's been a theme for the Broncos the last decade, and I'm a little tired of that. So they're going to have to prove it to me. They're not going to rest on their laurels. And Doc, you're free to, I want you to have a different opinion. I don't want everyone to agree. It's not fun that way. But just because they got there, I mean, you don't raise the banner for getting to the AFC title game, for losing the AFC championship after having the number 1 seed, by the way. So they're going to have to prove something to me. And so far, they've proven nothing, except that Sean Payton's still arrogant and George Payton's still again, I wish I could be X-rated on here. George Payton's still very conservative. Put it that way. So they're going to have to show me something that they haven't shown me yet. And maybe you guys agree, maybe you guys disagree. That's fine, but that's how I feel. Chris Bell, $5 super. Apparently, thank you, Chris. Apparently, something big is stirring up via trade, but I guess if it happens, we'll see tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath. I don't know who said that earlier, but I am not holding my breath. If they make a trade, I'll be the first one to eat crow. If it's a proper trade, if it's not for watch them finally make a move. Talk about conspiracy theories. Watch them finally make a move, and it's a trade, and they give up actual draft picks. And it's for Alvin Kamara. Watch. GG's at that point. Check, please. No more. I can't do it. No more. No more. They got me. I don't know how I'm still here after the last decade, before this last couple seasons. If they do that, which would signal so many disappointing things on so many levels, and I hope it doesn't happen. I'm getting myself worked up for nothing, but yeah, we'll see what happens, Chris, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. If they make a trade, great. If they make a trade for someone that's worthy of being traded for, I'll be the first one to eat crow. It would make everything better, but I'm not holding my breath at all. Drew, $9.99 super. Thank you so much for that, Drew. Zach, and hope you're having a great night, Drew. Zach, if we sign Njoku or Goddard, draft Nick Singleton and CJ Allen, we are better at a trade for a wide receiver and A+, much better than overpaying for it. Keep the faith. But Drew, you're assuming they're doing all those things that they're not doing. Yeah, obviously, if they start doing those things, they'll be a better team. My problem is they're not doing those things to make them a better team. That's my problem. It's 3 days into the process now. They can't draft anyone, obviously, but they could trade for a receiver or at least try. They could sign Njoku, sign Goddard. They're on the open market. They could have signed anyone the last couple of days. They chose not to. So I appreciate the super, and I get, I guess, the premise you're trying to say. I like the optimism. I like the positivity, but I'm knocking them for not doing those things. If they did those things, I'd be praising them. It's kind of that simple. Rock, $5 super. Thank you. Sean Payton is X is locked. You can't see his post on X. Sean Payton protects his post. Yeah, some people did post that on Twitter. I haven't checked that out for myself, but whatever. Because he's probably, I'll raise my hand. I've been tagging Sean Payton a lot on Twitter too. He's probably getting tagged so much last couple days from Broncos fans. So I don't blame him for doing that. I wouldn't read too much into that if anyone's going that route. I wouldn't read too much anyway. But again, I hope to be proven wrong. And then we have Huero, $4.99 super. Thank you so much for that, man. Hope you're having a great night. Zach, solos are the best. I don't know how to feel about our moves, and appreciate that, man. Thank you. That means a lot. I don't know how to feel about our moves or lack thereof. I don't want to overpay anyone, but we need offensive weapons. But how do I put this? I don't even know how to put it. It's would you spend a few million more and have David Njoku, or would you have rather had Adam Troutman for $6 million a year? It's not. Sometimes it's okay. If you're convicted on a player, if you're sure they're going to be an upgrade, if you have no doubt about it, it's okay to spend a little more. You're paying a premium for quality talent. You ever heard the expression, you get what you pay for? It's kind of true in the NFL. You can find young studs, cheap studs, undrafted studs every year. I get that. The Broncos are actually good at doing that. That's what they're best at, being frugal. But sometimes it's warranted to pay a little more. It's warranted to pay a premium. Look at Kansas City. They had no running game the last couple. They had no offensive weapons the last couple seasons. You wouldn't have seen them make that move like they did. They gave Kenneth Walker, $15 million, something in that area. They wouldn't have done that, but they decided enough's enough. We have a franchise quarterback. We're still in a Super Bowl window. We have the money. Let's go out and spend a little more than maybe we like, but we know is going to make the team better. That's how I feel. Maybe that's why I'm not an owner or a GM or a coach or whatever. But if I was in those positions, that's how I'd look at building the team. Not buy everyone under the sun like the 2010 Eagles, but like, how about, can I get one? Just, can I get one? Can I get one? One outside offensive weapon that is a clear upgrade. Can I get one? They don't want to give it to me. I don't know why. So let's see. That's the end of the supers for now. So I'll give you a quick little update as to who they brought back. Pretty much everyone. Let me get that comment off the screen because my face is being covered. Probably annoying for you guys to look at. All right. DJ saying Breece Hall price is 2-1s. He's tagged. Yeah. I mean, he's probably inaccessible. Again, I'm just hoping. What else do I have to go on right now except for copium and hope? So what's this? Doc James, we are good. I prefer Njoku to both Krull and Troutman than go get Breece out of New York. Bro, you're speaking my language. If they got Breece Hall and David Njoku, you put them on the Broncos right now, they are a legitimate Super Bowl contender, if not favorite. They don't have to make another move. They can even get by with not picking up another receiver. I don't care because Njoku is a great receiver and Breece Hall can catch the ball out of the backfield plenty good. I wouldn't care. But they can't even get one of those. They can't do that for me. Can't do that for us. Like, Jesus. All right, so let me go through the signings. Pretty much everyone is the answer to the question. They brought back Adam Prentice. They brought back Lucas Krull. They brought back Matt Henningsen. They have not brought back Jaleel McLaughlin, to the best of my knowledge, yet. They didn't tender him either. So we'll see. That's probably coming next. Or Lil Jordan Humphrey, if he hasn't been signed yet. Hopefully he has, so he can't come back to Denver and ruin my seasons for another year. What's this? We got Deanna. Thank you so much, Deanna. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. I know I sound repetitive, especially when I'm solo, but it's so amazing of you. Thank you so much. I'm upset and feel betrayed that they lied to us. They've done nothing to help Bo. I think you're right. If they do it, it will be for Kamara. Could it be too much money spent on the new stadium? CP saying the couch is him covering his crap up. Who's CP? Why am I drawing a blank with that? Saying the couch is him covering his crap up. I don't know. I don't know why I'm like brain farting that, but yeah, I addressed this yesterday on KK. You were so generous in joining me on there as well, Deanna. Maybe it is the new stadium. They've committed a lot of money into that. They've also committed a lot of money in years past, though, to stadium renovations and headquarter renovations and this and that. I don't know how much goes into it, but again, like I said yesterday too, billionaires don't become billionaires by being willy-nilly with their checkbook. They don't become billionaires by spending money left and right. Most billionaires are cheap. Seriously, I'm not joking around with that. Like, they like to more so hoard money and be frugal and pinch pennies where they can than give money away. Oh, GP. Yeah, thank you for that, Storm. If that's what you meant, Deanna, if you meant George Payton saying the couch is him covering his crap up, disgusted. That was Sean Payton. We're talking about the same couch analogy, that's what he said in one of the last couple press conferences. He said when he grew up, his parents had a lot of couches, and he once got on one, and the one was wiggling or whatever. So he's like, you don't know what you get until you got it, so you have to be sure before you commit. And he tied that to free agency, a couch. I don't know what's going on with him, man. And again, that's why I brought up the Bo Nix thing, the press conference when he just went off and talked about, didn't violate HIPAA, but like he started talking about Bo Nix's prior ankle surgeries and kind of blowing up Bo Nix's spot about his ankle. Like, what's going on? What's going on? And then Bo Nix comes out and refutes Sean Payton and says basically Sean Payton shouldn't have said that, point blank period. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Taylor, $1.99 super, thank you. We still aren't better, Zach. I don't get it. Krull. Yeah, that's Lucas Krull. If you guys wanted a tight end too freaking bad, you got Evan Ingram, Adam Troutman, and Lucas Krull. You got the same freaking tight ends you had last season when they didn't do anything to help out Bo Nix. I don't get it. I don't get it. At least he has another joy in his life right now. He had the ankle injury, then they're not doing anything for him to help him out so far, unless he knows something we don't. which I don't know if that's true or not. But, he just had a baby. So I'm happy he's experiencing some joy because the Broncos are doing him no favors. No favors so far. I'm not going to touch that, Storm. I don't want to speculate on that. All right. We're at 45 minutes or so. Yeah, I mean, that's the title of the episode is like who the Broncos brought back. And the answer is basically everyone that played for them last season, with the exception of a few players. I'm not even exaggerating. It's the usual suspects. And I know I spent the whole episode ranting about why that's a bad thing and why the Broncos are kind of stupid for doing that. But that's how I feel. I'm scrolling Twitter once again and nothing. Look at this. Charles Aminahu, however you pronounce his name, former Chiefs defensive end, 43 minutes ago from Adam Schefter. 1-year deal, $7 million with the Washington Commanders. And it's kind of comforting on some level. Like every time I see a notey from Adam Schefter or Rappaport or whoever breaking a signing, I know off the bat, without even reading the next sentence, that it's not involving the Broncos. Like every time. I don't even get like maybe anymore. I don't even think it could be a possibility anymore because it's not happening. I don't understand why. I don't understand why. What are we saying here from 805 Broncos fan? Thank you for joining me tonight, bro. Appreciate that. Or gal. SP and Bo arguing. SP stepping back from play calling. Nothing during free agency. I agree. Something is up. Maybe Sean Payton is sick. Yeah, I don't want to speculate anything like that. I hope that's not the case. I don't think that's the case. He looked pretty sharp at the combine. And again, I don't want to start anything, conspiratorial either about what's going on. That's just something I threw out there because I can't think of anything else. I cannot think of another reason why the Broncos would have not made one outside move if it wasn't arrogance that they think they know best and they can legitimately run it back with who they had last year. They have something in the works that we don't know about yet, which I don't know what it could be. They're gun shy from failures of years past, and Russell Wilson included. Or what am I left to believe? Take those away. What else am I have to go on here? It's been 3 days going on. The open market started Monday. Or the window opened Monday. It's Wednesday evening. Every other team has made a move except for one, Seattle. What is the reason? What's going on here? You're not a perfect roster by any means. Just because you got to the AFC title game, you have deficiencies. You can upgrade on players elsewhere. What are we doing? Why aren't we doing it? Thank you, Shannon, so much for this. A Shannon Bomb 99.99. That's an amazing super. We love seeing red around here, but we love the generosity that you guys show us. It's so incredible. Thank you so much, Shannon. Hope you're having an amazing night and getting through this very, very somber. Maybe somber is not the right word. No one died, fortunately, but anticlimactic free agent period. Thank you so much for the super. Hey, Zach, in Broncos country, I was really optimistic until today. Now I am feeling a bit frustrated. This just does not make sense. Can't they just show some interest in improving this offense? Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not the defense, Shannon. The defense was a Super Bowl caliber defense, and especially in the title game. Listen, I gave VJ a lot of crap, and rightfully so. A lot of it was deserved for how the defense played after the bye week. They were not the same defense as before the bye week, but they stepped up in the AFC Championship. And again, it was snowing, and you were facing Drake May in that situation, but they did play their asses off, and they deserved to win that game, and they probably deserve to win a Super Bowl. And maybe a little bias in me, I really don't care, but they had the defense and infrastructure. Even if you lost JFM, fine. We were planning on that already. And I'm going to keep this up while I go on this rant. Thank you, Jason O'Neill, so much. Zach is working his butt off. Smash that like button. Smash that like button if you haven't done so already. If you hear the sound of my voice, either live or if you're watching after the fact, smash that like button. It really helps us out. If you really like these solo pods or KK or the pod duos that we have on here, smash that like button. So I was going to say, you can even get by losing JFM. You have Savion Jones. You have Awuzurike. You can draft someone. I would have liked to keep JFM, but I'm reasonable and I'm logical, and you can't keep everyone. And I'm happy he got his bag. I am. He's a great player. But it's not doing anything for the offense that frustrates me. It's not helping out your quarterback that took you. Sean Payton would brag about making the AFC title game or whatever. he wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for Bo Nix. And that was evident in the AFC Championship game itself, because we saw what happens when a quarterback not named Bo Nix is starting for the Broncos in a Sean Payton offense. We saw what happens. And that's a special situation. I get that. Don't come at my neck. I get all that. The weather and the lack of supporting cast and the defense and blah, 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 blah. But the Broncos simply, and I'll take this to my grave, the Broncos would not have made the AFC Championship game without Bo Nix. They wouldn't have won 14 games or maybe got the number 1 seed without Bo Nix. My opinion, but that's my opinion that I will die with. So the fact that you couldn't do anything to help him out, not one single thing so far, and I hope I eat these words. I hope on tomorrow's episode of the podcast or Sunday's episode of the podcast, or maybe over the weekend if we do some emergency, if it warrants it, I hope I eat these words. I say I was wrong. I hope I say that I was too premature. I was too reactionary. I was not letting the process play out. I was too impatient, whatever. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I do say those things. But all I could do is live in right now. And it's Wednesday. It's March 11th. It is 7 p.m. Mountain. And the Broncos have not signed one single outside player. Have not traded for one single outside player in almost 72 hours since the window has opened for them to do so. That's what bothers me, is not helping out your quarterback. You spent a decade looking for that quarterback. You suffered through, and let me just get this away now because it's giving me some sort of weird. Oh, where is it? There's so many comments I want to get to, man. This is why I need a producer, man. Scott works his butt off for us. Give Scott some love when you see him, guys. He really helps us out in the background. Boom, love Zach. Appreciate it, Doc James. Trade rumors, tell me more. I ain't got no trade rumors because there are none. Jason O'Neill saying, hey, Zach, I know this is a Broncos pod, but what do you make of another playoff team? Eagles and Seahawks not making a whole lot of moves. It's just down to the Seahawks and the Broncos so far. And you know what? We're at 52 minutes. We're winding down, so I'll call this my 2-minute warning. You guys have any last-minute supers, comments, questions, get them into the chat. I'll do my best to get to every single person. But again, if I missed anyone, especially stars, we will address them tomorrow when we have Chad and Scott back in the building. I'm going to do one last live look through on Twitter to see if the Broncos surprise me and they don't want to hurt me anymore. And they signed. Nope, they didn't sign anyone. They're still hurting me. That's how it's going to be. So to answer your question, it's just down to the Broncos and the Seahawks now. And you know what? The Seahawks have an excuse. You know what that excuse is? They have a Super Bowl trophy that still has their fingerprints on it. That still smells like the Gatorade or the beer that was in it. The Broncos can't say that. And, you know, the Eagles, they had most of their pieces already in place or whatever. They have a franchise quarterback. They were a reigning Super Bowl champion. They still made a move. Why haven't the Broncos? If the last team that was a dynasty, the Chiefs, say what you want, they were. But if the last team that was can look in the mirror and admit to themselves that we need help, and go out and actually get the help they need, in Kenneth Walker in this case, the Broncos can do it. There's no reason why the Broncos can't. Especially if they want to keep pace ahead of Kansas City, as I thought was the plan. But let me just clean this up. Okay, we got that already from Shannon. Thank you again, Shannon, for that. Let me see. Again, guys, last minute, 2-minute warning here. Last couple minutes on the pod. I'm going on an hour. Zach spitting fire. Thank you so much for that. What else? Taking one last scroll through. So that's why I'm not saying much. I want to scroll at the same time without making it dead air. It's not the easiest thing in the world, you know. Glenn saying Njoku or Goddard, please, Zack Kelberman. I'll take either. I just don't think, what do you do? Now what do you do? You gave Adam Troutman $18 million. You still have Evan Ingram under contract. I don't have his contract pulled up, but you would have to make a move with him. Take on dead money or trade him, which no one's going to trade for Evan Ingram. So I would have loved, I still love either of them. I would want the Broncos, obviously. I'm praying literally they sign either one. But it kind of feels to me that if they wanted to sign either of them, Glenn, they would have done so already. They had a plan for re-signing Adam Troutman. It was like one of the first moves they made. And they didn't give Troutman a one-year deal for $3 million. They gave him a freaking 3-year deal for $18 million or up to $18.5 million, whatever it is. What is that? What is that? You gave freaking Alex Singleton $7 million a year. What is that? And then you cut Dre Greenlaw. What are we doing? What are we doing? So you guys are scaring me. Every time you say Njoku now, I have PTSD thinking the Broncos are actually visiting with him. And that's how desperate I am that I'll take a visit at this point. Interest. Blah. What is String Guy saying? I work for the hospital, guys, or a hospital. And one thing we say is you have to be patient to be patient. You have to be patient to be a patient. Things will be okay, guys. Hit the like button. I'll bring down Zach's blood pressure. Yeah, guys, listen. What Raj is saying here is 100% true. If you guys care about my blood pressure, guys and gals, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you help us out that way because it's skyrocketing. The Broncos are hurting me. They're hurting me. So my blood pressure is through the roof right now, and I could use the thumbs up. I can use the support. What's this from Chris? I think I need to take a break for a bit and come back and see what's changed. Only way to keep my sanity. I mean, listen, it's frustrating. It's maddening, but it's not worth your sanity. It's still a game, Chris. It's still just football. You know, we all have lives outside of this. We all have families and obligations and things of that nature. Things are more important than football. So let's not lose our sanity over this. I'm not losing sleep over the fact that Broncos haven't signed anyone. I mean, I'm mad about it. I mean, now I'm fascinated, but I was mad about it, but I'm not like pacing. It's not affecting my personal life. And I hope it's not doing the same to you either, Chris. It's not worth it, man. The Broncos don't even, it's the sad part about this. The Broncos don't even know us or, you know, most of their fans, obviously, they don't even know they exist. And these fans give everything to the team. Their paychecks, their livelihoods, their energy, their time. There are memories they could be making elsewhere. You know, you go to a football game, you could be spending that afternoon with your kid or with your wife or with your parents, if you're so lucky to have them still. And they do that week in and week out, day in and day out, year in and year out, decade in and decade out. There's nothing like a fan. And then for teams to just kind of crap on them, it's so, it makes you want to check out. Of like following, you know, like what Chris was saying, it's not worth your sanity, but it's really disheartening. But that's a good expression, though. You have to be patient to be a patient. It's still just a game from Zach, who said he was adding Sean on Twitter. Well, I wasn't threatening his life, JB3 degree. You know, I was doing like Grok prompts and saying, hey, Grok, tell Sean Payton this. And I would tag Sean Payton. It wasn't that serious. You know, it's not that deep. Hopefully you're not being that deep as well. You know, I don't blame Sean for, and I said I don't blame Sean for doing it. There's a lot of crazy people on Twitter that are probably threatening him or sending him crazy messages. I don't blame him. Oh, Greenlaw was cut. We got news. Greenlaw was cut. No, I don't see anything. Let me refresh. You guys mess with me again? You guys are messing with me again. Unless you mean he will be cut. Maybe you guys are talking to yourselves. I don't know. Maybe you guys are talking to yourself. I saw a bunch of messages saying Greenlaw was cut. Yeah, he's going to be cut, but unless I missed something on Twitter just now. Wait, don't tell me that was him again. Was that him again? Was that okay, Bless. Appreciate you tuning in, bro. I'm getting off as well. Thank you, Storm, for tuning in tonight. He says I'm out. Got to get back to work. Peace. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of the MHH podcast. But yeah, Greenlaw will be cut, and we'll see. We'll see if the Broncos actually bring in an outside player. Maybe A.J. Brown, maybe Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, you know, the usual suspects. Boot everyone. Test Prep says, yeah, I'm about to get off here. So basically everyone will be booted, including myself. Thank you all for tuning in with me this evening. Let me go through my spiel and I'll say my matters. You know, I'll give my shout outs and get off. So another tremendous episode, as always, of the Mile High Huddle podcast. If you're not doing so, please follow us on X at the MHH Pod. You can follow the main account on X at Mile High Huddle, Chad at Chad and Jensen, myself at Kelberman NFL, and Scott, our producer, at Scout Kennedy. If you guys want some merch like we're rocking each and every single episode, check out mhhmerch.com and get you some. If you haven't done so yet, please drop us a like at facebook.com/mile-high-huddle-pod. You can find us on Instagram at mile_high_huddle. If you haven't done so yet, please join the new MHH Discord server. The link is in the description below. If you haven't done so and you're following along on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you're leaving your football priest a 5-star review for a chance to win some merch each and every single month. But if anything, y'all, please, 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 very important, as always, that you subscribe, you like, you share this video and every video you see on the MHH channel. It really helps us grow and reach more Broncos fans, just like you. So let me give some shout-outs. I can go through the supers. That's all I got access to on my end. So David, Storm, hope you're having a good night, man. Thank you for dropping some supers and some knowledge around here tonight. Appreciate you. David, BLD, Deanna, multiples. Thank you, Deanna, so much, as always. Thank you so much. Doc, Chris, Drew, Ronk, Huero. Again, I mentioned Deanna, multiples. Taylor, Shannon, thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in with me tonight. Go relax my brain, Zach. Ronnie says, I'm probably going to look at stocks. That's probably what I'm going to do tonight. That's what I do. I'm a sicko, so I'm going to do in my free time. So I don't know about relaxing my brain, but I'll be relaxing my brain about the Broncos for sure, And hopefully while I'm doing that, the Broncos will actually, let me get this off the screen. Thank you again, Shannon. Hopefully the Broncos will make a move and stop me from ranting each and every single podcast. I vow to you guys, whether you like it or not, I will be ranting about the lack of activity every pod until they actually have some activity. So tomorrow, Sunday, we'll see what happens. But I hope you all have a great rest of your night. Thank you all for tuning in with me. We'll update you tomorrow night on what's going on. Todd says, when are you all planning a mock draft? We have the roundtable like the week of the actual NFL draft, Todd. So like last week, April-ish. But when we get closer, we'll let you know. We'll have something probably around the turn of the new month, April 1st or so. And it won't be a April Fool's joke. So have a great night, Todd. Have a great night, everyone. Liquid says Broncos country. Let's cry. Don't cry. Don't cry, because those tears could become, delirious laughter if they trade for a receiver or someone of note. But we'll see if they actually do it, if they sign someone, whatever. Probably not. We'll let you know tomorrow when we catch up with you again, Chad and I. But have a great rest of your night. Take care. And as always, go Broncos.